e5 move, and you do b5, because, for example, if you do b5 here, he takes it, you can take it back, and if he takes it with a knight, you have the excellent move queen b6, which threatens the knight here on b5, as well as the king that is in trouble here, because it's going to be the long diagonal, so you have this knight d3 check coming, as well as this knight will be attacked. So that's like a nice move that black always has in his mind here in this kind of structure. But he was a bit annoyed here with g5, so that's why he played h6, and that's because there's the other way to play is that you play b5 and you allow this to happen with g5, and then just go probably knight h5 and knight try to get the knight into f4.
So you'll notice that it says before Game King's already beaten Mary Hatman. That's what I was saying, that these ratings aren't correct. So Game King is actually the current Pentamine leader. He's the current Pentamine champion, and he's also currently leading this year's Pentamine championships. He's probably 2250, probably at a rate P day, and then like probably much higher at Blitz. He's a very strong chess player. So in terms of like, so he's actually, I would say, if I was to pick one, I'd pick him as the favourite to win this particular game, because he's actually just quite strong and attacking. And so this is a typical position he'd probably quite like to play.
Well, now black has a problem, because the same idea here, there is so many tricks. Because if b5, you will take the pawn, and you can basically take back, and then he can actually take here, I think. Because queen b6, knight takes c4, queen takes b5, so you basically get the queen here, and there is this discovery check on d6, so knight d6 check, so the king, and then you have to take it, and then you take the queen here. So it's a long variation, but very, very tricky. So then the problem is that due to that variation, this pawn is in serious danger right now. So it's not so easy to protect it, actually, which is something that yeah, it's a bit interesting. One idea could be to go rook d4, maybe. It's also very complicated, but if you go like rook d4 here, it actually prevents the knight takes c4, because you can always take on e4 with your knight then, and then basically it's going to be some exchanges here, so that's okay for black, definitely. So having rook d4 is probably the strongest move, and in case of knight f3, then you have an interesting choice between giving up an exchange with rook takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight c takes e4, which with some threats, knight d3 among others, and you get like a central pawn, and yeah, some play actually for the pawn. Or it's also possible to go rook d7 instead, like the rook goes back from with the knight here on f3, that the rook goes back from d4 to d7, and if he takes on c4, then you can take on e4 with the c knight, for example. You can even take with the f knight as well. That's actually playable, you know. Totally playable for black. So rook d4, I think, is a good move in this position.
What do you think they'll play then? Because I guess rook d4 looks like a natural move.
Yeah, so he actually went there, and he went for some kind of sacrificial idea here.
Do you think maybe it's the wrong one?
It's now it's getting quite quite messy, this game here. It's getting really messy, actually.
Wow. A lot of stuff going on around here. So hang on a minute. So white's a rook up currently, but the exchange is under wraps over there.
Yeah, but I think that I'm not sure about this, actually, because it's this really complicated position. So let me see here what's actually going on, because but it just feels like that black has blundered a bit.
But what about
Because the thing is that you have to probably take on. Oh, let me see now. You have to take on f1. Ah, this is a mistake. Bishop f4. I don't believe in that move. Yeah, I should have played bishop f4 here. It was just totally winning, I think. I don't believe in this move because bishop f4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that's then you can't do anything because you basically.
Well, he gets the pieces out, and it doesn't look right.
He's considering taking on c3 and then playing after bishop takes c7, bishop c5. Maybe he's getting really complicated and trying to do something like that, but that doesn't quite work.
Yeah, and also you have time that is a factor, and this move is because I saw some idea here. I'm not sure if it's correct actually, because it's really complicated now. It's gonna be very weird because d takes c here is quite interesting. Because it was very complicated because d takes c, it was bishop f4, and in that case you could actually consider queen takes f4, and knight e2.
Yeah.
And then the king has to move, and you take back here on f4. The rook has to take, and you take on b2, and then you can get in c3 as well with some extremely unclear composition. It's just well, these two are really going for it.
I mean, that's also, these two are regulars. They are both former Pentamine champions. Both of them are. So they're both exceptionally strong games players across all the games, and they're both decent chess players. So you're getting a good quality game here, which is great. So
yeah, this is the most interesting game thus far by far, because it's a lot of tactical turns, and both are really going for it. You can say this is really aggressive game. So he should definitely take here and push c3 probably.
Definitely worth having a look at this post match as well to see if the analysis is correct and what possibilities there were to do.
Yeah, now it's basically the position is stabilizing a little bit. I would say that it's still a very unclear position. White is on the verge of getting better here. But black has a lot of practical compensation and IDs, so it's it can, any result is possible. Here I would say bishop f4 is a great move. Once again, I like this bishop f4.
Again, one of the most.
If you have any kind of doubts,
Yeah, again, but that's super complicated now with less than 3 minutes left. But I guess I want to do something. I want to kind of centralize my queen at some point, so like queen e5.
Yeah. Because the thing is that I think queen e5 is a very interesting move. Very interesting move. Queen e5 here. Yes, sack a piece here.
Take on.
It would be very dangerous.
Yeah, because you can take.
Here, what white needs to do is white needs to slow this game down, because now it's going in black's direction. So he basically, if white is able to change the queens, I would say that he has very good chances because the bishop pair and some weak pawns and so on. But black has nice chances, at least.
Yeah, I liked the idea.
In a practical game, as long as the white king is so open, and we can see here that the bishop stops the king from coming back, which is always a problem. So I don't think that white is very happy from a practical point of view here.
So I think like that now the rook on e1, he's got a bit more activity. That's why I thought queen e5 previously was interesting, because if you sack the knight and after
that was a very strong move. We can quickly go back here and see that.
Then rook.
For example, this queen d2 is a mistake. You should have done bishop f4.
Yeah,
that was quite important. But here to sack with this queen e5 move would have been very interesting.
And then
I think it would have been very strong. Perhaps actually I see a move now, bishop d2, that you just ignore the knight. because the problem is that if you take the knight, then basically there's a couple of ideas how you can do it. You can either take start by taking on c3, but I think it's even stronger to just play rook d8 in such a position.
But then after d8, can you play queen c6 in that position?
No, I think it's too dangerous because you can just enter and do whatever you want with
because that's why
like queen takes c3 or and then there is a pawn on h3 and everything is gonna fall, or even to queen h2 directly is also
I think that's why
quite annoying. But then I think he will go back to queen d2, so I will prefer queen takes c3, which I think is stronger, and then I think white would have serious problems because the rook doesn't have any good squares, and you can take the c2 pawn and then you're threatening mate, and I think he's just totally lost. So to take the piece is a bad idea. He needs to not take the piece. So let's go to, because this is a bit exciting, and I think now looks like black did something quite bad. At all. Now he needs to sack somewhere. Yeah, he can sack. Yeah, should be okay. Queen c6. Queen c6. Let me see. Can the king run away? Oh Jesus, he's gonna run away.
How does he run?
Bad. This is bad for
H1. How does he run if you're going to?
You can take bishop takes f4. That's the problem.
Okay, so then h1, king e2.
So you go here, king e2. Sorry, king e2. So we have that move in the end here, king e2, and we should take the separation from start. So basically, the bishop will take here. So this is the move. Bishop will take here. And then you have the queen h1 coming. The king will go to e2. And there is the problem, I think, because rook e8 is the only check. And then I think the king can just go to d1. Ah, okay, wait. d1 is bad. Sorry, d2 you have to go to. Because if you go to d1, then you can exchange on e1, king takes, and queen f3. And the bishop is hanging here as well in the end. So it should be okay, even if there's some problems on the king with queen e8. But black is struggling here a lot. But I think that the problem is that after queen c6, bishop takes, queen h1, king e2, rook e8, king d2, and I don't find one single good move. I think it's just a piece down, and yeah, it's a lost position.
So they've actually played a few moves since. So should we catch up with?
Yeah, so I think he has to do something desperate here. But wow, what? He didn't exchange here. That was a bit weird for me. So this move is quite surprising, honestly.
Do you think taking the easier endgame, the simpler endgame?
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, sometimes people play for their on time or tricks or something like this. But here, I wouldn't be very happy anymore because now, queen g3 here is a great move. He didn't play that, but that's a serious move, And there's weaknesses all over c3 and h3 and.
I guess he's worried about queen g2 in response to that, so therefore he doesn't need to.
Yeah, queen, and then he probably takes on c3, and so black gets some pawn back, and the game is alive. But I think he blundered something here. Yeah.
He just one move.
One move checkmate.
But
they were going down on time, so those are the things that can happen.
Yeah.
And we have some fight here as well. Where black is trying to win, and he's going to win as well. So I think white is trying to win on time. And, well, black is going to win both on time and on the board.
Very close,
so,
though.
It was interesting. Let me see if there's something more going on. No, we're down for this round. Well, I think that we saw a really good fight, and it was a very tactical game and quite interesting. I would, I think I think that could be the game of the tournament. Actually, it was very
good. I think we should definitely check out. I'll check out some post-game analysis with it because those two are former Pentamon champions too. They're both super duper strong, and I think there's so many tactics to that game. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a really interesting game, and I think that one, yeah, it was a good fight, I would say. But there is a lot of action, even if it's 10 minutes. I mean, the next round is in 10 seconds, so we are on it again. So it goes quite quick. Even if it's 10 minutes, you think that from the other streams that we have done, with 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 3+2 and 5 minutes and whatever, But still, there's some tempo in this, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, still 10-0 it's not that long anyway.
Game King was down as 1,500 a minute ago, and he got 600 rating points for winning that tournament. For winning that game, he's going to be, if he keeps winning, he's going to be like 4,000 by the end of this. His K factor's still crazy, and he could easily win this tournament. Like, it's possible. Like, he's a strong enough player to win it. I wonder what would happen with a silly K factor like that. Will it will keep going?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a really... But this seems to be like a thematic tournament, It's a lot of this Italian stuff.
Yeah, a lot of it. But it's
and this is okay. This is the Scotch Gambit.
Very tactical.
So it's basically white is sacrificing a central pawn here, and the idea is usually that you want to sacrifice another one in order to get speeded development. And here he went for that line. So then here the best move is actually to take the pawn, just dare to take it.
Key 1 and D5.
Yeah, and then you have to go once again with this famous D5 move. Really, and then you usually take it.
Knight C3 and
queen will take. The queen will take here, and then comes knight C3.
This is very. I mean, this is again very theoretical, and it's a very common opening played in the UK by juniors, actually, because I think a lot of the popular junior chess coaches teach just Scotch Gambit. So you'll see that, I mean, so you'll see that that's played a lot. But what's interesting, this guy called Il Sicario dei Poveri is playing an Italian game, but his answer is a very Italian sort of name, isn't it? That sounds like.
Well, Sicario in it's not a very friendly name.
Oh yeah,
because Sicario in I think it's the same in Italian probably, but in Spanish it means it's like professional killer.
Yeah.
so I expect that it's the same there.
I think I've heard that from like Narcos and all the different TV shows when they talk about the Sicario. So that's.
So basically, I think that, but I have always liked this for black because I like the bishop pair that you get in this variation. So I have never really been so impressed by white's opening here, but I mean it looks like the professional killer knows what he's doing. So
also, it's more of a shock factor with these gambits, isn't it? So if black doesn't know what he's doing, white can there are so many ways black can go wrong. And white
definitely, and I mean the old way how they used to play was that they basically played this knight e2 g5 and took back the pawn here on e6. But then of course black will just castle long. And get a lot of activity, and that's so I think they have given up on that. And white was struggling even to equalize in that, I think, after a while. So this move is more interesting, of course. And the idea is, of course, to stop this long castle. So that the king will be stuck in the center. And now he has like a choice here. What will he do? Will he go for bishop b4? Is that the move? In order to just develop? Or will he go for bishop d6, which I have seen before? And if I'm not wrong here, there is some game with Berg against Christiansen from Olympiad where actually Berg managed to win this position. I think he played bishop f4 and just took on d4 or something like this. I think the game was bishop f4, long castle. Or was it long castle? Yeah, I think it was long castle, if I'm not wrong. I think it was long castle. and then you got like some opposite colored bishop game, which actually totally should be drawn, but Emmanuel actually managed to win it. So I think we are going into that game. Bishop f4 here is the move. Yeah, that's bishop f4 is definitely the best move here. In order to
it's a strange position. I think like if they've not played this out and they've not studied these lines, and by the amount of time they're taking, I feel like they've not. So yeah, I guess it's going to be a strange.
Of course, I mean this move I don't like so much. It's a strange move. I think while black could just castle, and you will have a. I mean, this is just h4 doesn't add any value, you know.
Yeah.
To the position,
like
zero value to the position. And now he has probably c3, like a move here, and you can't take it because then you take the queen. So the queen is hanging. So probably he has to just ignore it and castle. And then you're gonna get a very dull position after taking here with the knight, and black will take. This move, something feels wrong with that move. I mean, bishop takes d6 is very interesting now.
Yeah, and then taking on d4, and everything feels like it's falling apart. I guess taking on d6 is.
Yeah, and I think he's going for long castle. Yeah, okay, so. This is his ID, but I think this somehow it looks dangerous. Because you know there is also so many options. You can take like here, you know, knight takes d4 now. It looks totally lost. Honestly, totally lost. I shouldn't exaggerate, but it looks bad. Knight takes d4 now, because if you take back with knight, you take with the queen, and you are just pawn. I mean, you are pawn up, and you have the attack, so it looks very unpleasant.
You get mated if you're not careful.
Yeah, so I think this was just wrong. You know what he did. I didn't like it. But I think knight takes d4 now is a great move. You know, it will give.
But he probably didn't consider that at the time. He probably just thought, "Oh, bishop moves, and then he takes on c3," and just thought, "Okay, this is great," you know.
Yeah, but even that can also, you know, it's also on the limit, you know, because if you move the bishop back, you take there, and you just move the queen to c1, and then you have the knight e5 coming, and it's you know, it's a bit dangerous as well.
I'd be a bit nervous having an open c file and a b file against.
Yeah. So, but okay, the knight takes d4 was just totally winning. So that he should have done, of course.
Maybe he analysed this and thought it was also quite good to have this attack. So, like, you know, take here, queen c1, take on b2. Okay.
Yeah, this is also an option to just sack all the pawns and go for the attack here, and rook b1 now. So this is what he's trying to do, and so of course his attack is going to be extremely dangerous. Rook b1.
We analysed this and thought this is good enough, but why is he thinking now? I feel like isn't the only move rook b1 here?
Yeah, that's the only move. The only move. If queen a5, he can consider queen f4 maybe. Yeah. It looks a bit unpleasant for black, but
seems strange.
At least you know, to black's advantage, you can say that he has a couple of pawns, but yeah, he has a couple of pawns. That's it. There is no more. But and probably queen f4 and then g5. I would expect will come. Because that's like a typical move. You have to get in some counterplay here.
So is he worried about this pawn on? I guess pawn on b2.
Yeah. Okay. But queen f4 must be the best move. But then g5. I like g5. I really like g5 there. Somehow I think that you should open up. But well, and probably white should. You know, after this queen f4, g5, white probably has to take 2 times, and then we get like a bit, very complicated position again. But I like this, you know. These players are tough. You know, it's no chicken draws or something like this.
It's playing white before. That's why he's a defending champ, and he's tricky, very tricky. So definitely not a 1500. You don't want to be playing against him at 1500 for sure.
But this is horrible. Now this move you can't play.
It's interesting. So,
oh Jesus Christ, that move I really don't like. I mean, you cannot exchange queens here. It's just no. It's just totally wrong. I mean, this has to be the move. Queen f4. You know, and continue. You know, with initiative and take on b2 and it's gonna be
pawn down voluntarily. I don't understand. Like he sacks a couple of pawns for attack and then traded off queen. I'm not sure I understand that logic.
Well, he's trying to go for the c file. No, he still has a bit of compensation, but it was wrong. You know, it's just the wrong choice. It cannot be right.
Hoping that rook c1 will be super strong next, but then he can't just go to d7 to e8 and he'd be fine. Or I mean.
Well, the idea is that this move is going to be very strong, yes. But and I mean, White has actually quite serious compensation still, you know. But I just think the other option was much better, you know. And now rook c1 will come. There is rook d1 actually on rook c1. That's an interesting move. So basically, if he goes here, you can actually go here. And then you basically force an exchange and release a bit of the pressure. Yeah, rook d1 is the move now.
Yes, that's why you played knight c5 as opposed to a knight c4 and a knight c6, right? So
yeah, and he should have done. I'm not sure. I was thinking about rook c2, but then you can maybe play b5. So it's.
But is it the same thing though? So can he take?
But rook d1 is a must now.
Right, but then rook d1 takes b2 and rook back to c1. Is that what he's thinking?
And then you go knight c4, you know, something like that. There is knight d4 actually. That can be annoying. Knight d4, bishop d5, knight f5. Oh, that's really annoying.
And knight e5.
And then you have to go king d7. Are you fine there or are you not fine? Rook d1. Problems, big problems. Knight b6. It's yeah. Well, it's still not clear actually. This move f6. That's an interesting move. Is that playable? It looks like risky, but
I don't understand what he's doing. I guess he's trying.
I didn't like that move at all, because now he will get into a troublesome endgame here. I didn't like f6 at all. I don't think it was playable. I think rook d1 was probably the only move that was good. This looks problematic. I mean, you have b5 now, and rook takes b5, and then it's hard to get out of the pin in a good way on your feet. So b5 doesn't help. Yeah, so you probably have to give up some material, but it's not just this. You can also. I don't like the black position here.
I'm not sure about I don't understand f6 per se. I don't know what was he just trying to stop knight e5 coming? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was that, but it doesn't do it the job. You know, this is now you can just take there and king d8, and I mean, but it doesn't really matter. White is much better here.
Okay, so he's got the two pieces for the rook, but black's also got two extra pawns.
Yeah.
So why to you is white just so much better? Because obviously I understand why black considers going down this line, but why do you think that white is just so much better here?
Well, the pieces are they should be better. I'm honestly not sure about his last move h5 there. I don't like that because I think this is just going to be a weakness. But otherwise, it's easier for the two. For example, we have a weakness here on d7, and the two pieces, you know, if you just get the bishop around to f8 or something like this, and the knight to f5, those two can actually attack a weak spot like d7 because they have two, and the rook is alone. So it's hard many times for the rook to defend some weak spots because it's alone against two pieces. So that's the reason why I will definitely prefer the pieces in such an endgame here. But of course, if let's say that these two rooks are exchanged, then black also has a clear target here on a2, the pawn, and that can be then it can shift. The game can totally shift the other way around. That black is totally winning because this pawn is indefensible, and then these two pawns here will just run down, and white will not have time to stop them. So it's very important for white that these rooks are not exchanged. Because if they are that, then it's gonna change totally.
Yeah.
But what is he doing now? Isn't there? Okay, it's still fine. He can move away because a key move here is of course rook d1.
Yeah.
And then there is bishop f4, and the king will run away to g3. And this I also didn't like. I think I have to. Yeah, I would have preferred actually rook d1. And the idea with my rook d1 is, of course, that I would love to exchange off the rooks here.
So what is his plan with rook b1? He's got some idea. Why is he defending the...
He's probably going for some a5, b5 ideas, you know?
Okay.
Like a5 is one idea, preparing rook b4. That's actually a serious idea. So he's trying to go for something like that.
b5.
And now I would say that the game is a little bit more unclear. You know, I really didn't like this h5 move because this is a weakness. So I think now the game is much more unclear. Like for example, if you have a move like knight f5, black can go rook d5, and suddenly it's even mate. You know, when you lose this pawn here. So that's like a typical idea that could be disastrous, you know, and probably even better than I see because the g7 pawn is hanging, so even more exact is rook b5.
Time is going to be an issue as well, though, in this game. It's in a minute left.
Yeah, I think that's actually, and he did this, you know, knight f5. He actually played like this as well.
Wow.
But black has a very bad time.
But he's got two major passed pawns now, so this is really...
Yeah, he's got two major passed pawns, but he only got 46 seconds.
He's quick. It's still
and here you honestly don't... You can't really play this well with 44 seconds. It's that's by far his biggest problem.
Yeah. That pawn's quick. That b pawn is quick.
Rook b6 now is the key move. He has to go here.
Yeah.
And if he does,
yeah,
we have a very complicated position here. He has to go back.
Go rook d2.
And now he's preparing a3 and b2, running, but white is running as well. So I think white is actually ahead.
Was a? I guess that's what I thought the last move. I didn't expect.
That move was harsh.
Yeah,
that was a very, very harsh move. I would take a check just to hope for king d5 or something, or king b4. You know, so we have some tricks. That's definitely what I would do. But this rook d2 was a very strong move actually. That's a very annoying move.
So this is what I thought, because he should have done the move before instead of playing a4. Because
so he tried. I found f5, which is a good move, and now it's very, very, very sharp.
Because now one is good because
these guys are tough.
We can pick up.
This is a good move, and you have to pick up the h pawn here.
And then he can play rook f2 to defend the other one.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to give the queen.
And then but now he can just put his rook behind the other passed pawns and try to queen those.
Yeah, no, he will get in a3. So this move. Now he has to sacrifice, and we will have a very interesting position here. After rook takes f5, he has to play that, and rook takes f7.
Oh, that's really. Oh, he's got mate. Well, he hasn't got mate actually.
No, there is no mate. This was a blunder. It's just to go and bishop g3 and goodbye.
Oh, that's really strange. Okay.
So this was just a blunder.
Ah.
It doesn't work. But he had actually. Okay, this is
This is just, okay, pointless.
a waste of time. But it was very interesting. A very, very interesting game. Now in this position, there's only one way to play. You have to take here.
Yeah.
And when they takes there, you have to take here. And then he takes there, and you have to try to play a3, but it's not enough because it's going to be rook. He will always be able to sack the bishop. So black is lost. But it was a very, very exciting game here. And I think white did the right thing here, that he really went for d7.
In that last position when you took on f7, could you not have delayed it and played like rook f2 first?
But I think here is also where he misplayed a bit.
Position he
Let me see. No, you couldn't. It's a bit tricky here. It's not easy, this position. Let me see here. He went here. Yeah, maybe there is nothing to do actually. So that he basically. Yeah, the thing is that there are a lot of tricks. He's trying for this trick. Knight is g7 and bishop. If the rook takes, bishop takes f6. So that's like his idea. But he went for this, and then this comes. Here, yeah, I think here he has to somehow improve his play, but it's not that simple. I mean, because very, very. This move I'm not sure about. I think you should make it a little bit harder for him to recover that pawn, if possible. But okay, there is knight e8 as well, so it doesn't really work. This is a very, very topical position. And here he has to improve his play, I would say. You have to be faster here. One idea to play is to go with the rook here behind the pawn, already here, So you put like the rook behind and then you run, so that you get some force. Because then white cannot do what he did here. That's one idea. And this is definitely too slow. I think he should go for this move directly.
Yeah, that's the move I was suggesting first.
And just try to take the g2 and hope for some draw. But yeah, it was a very interesting game. Very, very interesting. Okay, they are in a new round, and we can see that there are a couple of guys on 3 points.
There's still quite a lot of guys on 3 points. There's still a lot to play for here.
Yeah, definitely. And here we see some Greenfield stuff. Where it's London.
It's like a.
I was dreaming of a Greenfield. Yeah,
it's a London attack.
But okay, it has some features of some Greenfield IDs, but okay, this is standard stuff as well. White is usually jumping with his knight here. Yeah, very boring position. But I see one move. I'm not sure about this knight bd7. I think it was a big mistake. Yeah, knight b5, and you are just lost. So it was knight bd7 was a very bad move.
That knight b5 move is a common trick in this, and it should be able to.
Yeah, no, this is just totally lost.
Yes, b5 or something.
And then you go back. You just put the bishop on f4, for example.
Back and then
it's just a very bad position. Just a pawn down for nothing. Yeah, knight c7 is coming. So. Yeah.
And then you've got material you're going to lose again further.
Yeah, yes, c3.
It's supposed to play c5 or c6 before they play knight b7 in those lines.
Yeah, like this you can't play. You cannot play like that.
I think c5 is a good way to play, and then knight c6. So
yeah, and here you can basically go c3, for example. It's a strong move.
But I think like with c5, then your
But this what he's doing now is very unnecessary. Very stupid idea. I mean, why put the knight down here? It doesn't make sense at all.
Trying to threaten some sort of discovered attack. I don't know what he's trying to do, but I guess he's.
Doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense at all.
But if A6 or something comes, it's okay. B6.
Yeah, this move was also very bad, because now we will go like both knight B5 and knight A6 are just great.
I thought A6 would be the move that he'd play, not B6.
Well, I think this is just extremely bad position.
This makes no sense.
A4, for example. But it's also interesting to put the knight on A6, like you go knight C7, knight A6, just to block everything and keep control over the squares. So he's trying to get some kind of compensation here, but he up to this point he doesn't have it.
But at least I feel like Black's at least got a bit of a better position now. White missed the opportunity to really bind him there. I feel like Black.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, White should have played much better there. I mean, you shouldn't allow him to mobilize his queenside.
Yeah, now it's actually
doesn't make sense. But Black is doing also quite okay. Now after that start, I would say that Black had a good trend.
Exactly.
10-15 moves, because that wasn't how it started. Position was very bad in the start. Because I mean, this knight here on C2, what is it doing? This is a very, very bad square for the knight. Totally misplaced. I mean, if I was Black here, I would be happy with the trend.
Yeah, well, much better than
definitely. Knight C4 here is an interesting move. I was just thinking about this one. The only thing I see now, I think B3 is strong. Or strong. Well.
But then E3, knight takes C3. I guess you're just going to play Queen E1.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plan. That was the trap. Like B3, knight takes C3, and Queen E1. That was the trap. Okay.
Now again, you've got. So is he trying to get some weaknesses here and?
Yeah.
Trying to push some sort of.
Yeah, basically, it's not so easy for White to mobilize, And now there is starts to get some interesting moves like G5, It's a very fresh move. I like that kind of moves. I mean, Simon Williams would have played G5 directly there.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have done.
Yeah, he likes to attack. Simon likes his attacks. I don't think he would hesitate before he would have played G5.
I mean, you've locked to that queen side now. You're not really going to do much over there. You might as well start pushing on the king side.
Yeah, no, I mean, this looks dangerous for White. I think that Black has really and G5. No. That move we should take back. We have to take that back. This move has to be played.
Add the kings on H2 as well.
You need to go for attack here. I mean, there's two ways to do it. Either you do H5 first, so he cannot do H5 himself, and then you do G5 next move, which is extremely dangerous. Or you do G5 directly. You need to go for attack here. G5 directly is the move.
G5 and H5, you go queen F7.
But E5 is just so wrong.
Wow, knight on. Where's that knight?
Yeah, well, he wants to go to C5 to here. Through B3 and then to C5, but I don't like it at all because this move is coming and the bishop will get into the position, and you also have this idea of the queen, down to H3. So now I would say that White is in quite serious trouble here, even though he's a pawn up. And this is the thing, that White has played way too passive, way too passive. See, after winning that pawn, White hasn't played good at all. And this is the thing, that many times when you win a pawn like this so early, you just relax, and you think that okay, this game is nothing, But yeah, the Queen D7, I would expect. I think Queen D7 was much stronger than this move.
Knight C5 is actually annoying. So
yeah, you should really have done Queen 7. I mean, if you look at this, Queen D7, what you do?
That's what I thought. I was expecting.
But the problem is that he will get in here And then he will also have the opportunity to play like bishop g4 and bishop f3.
Yeah.
And I think white can resign. Here, what I would advise, if it's playable, is knight takes e4. I would really be interested in that move. Just give an exchange, you know.
So he's giving the exchange taking the a pawn.
Yeah, but why not the central pawn?
Yeah, I get.
Oh, whoa! There's actually e takes d. That could be a problem, and then f3. I still would have considered to take the central pawn, because I would be more interested in that. Because now rook takes d1 is the move. I don't understand what he's thinking about. I mean, you can take queen takes d1 as well. It's possible, yeah. Now you have to be aware of f4. But I like this move. Looks okay. I mean, white has quite interesting chances after that sacrifice there. And it was definitely the right way to play.
That knight's a really strong knight, so
yeah. And now it's getting really interesting. Very interesting.
Well, knight e6 is also coming. If he's that's a blunder. Oh, can you go king takes g3 here?
Yeah, king takes g3 definitely is playable. Yeah.
Because I mean, I want to threaten knight e6.
So, I mean, I think many things are playable here. You can also go. You can also consider queen takes is also not so bad.
Yeah, I mean, but I wanted to keep that knight e6 as a threat, so king takes g3 I thought would be.
Listen, they're listening to you.
Yeah.
That's a weird move, because now you have the knight e6 now.
This is why king g3 now looks good. But I guess is he thinking that he's going to sack back for 2 more pawns? Is that what his plan is? But I'd be concerned about getting mated as well if he's not careful. But he's just going to be a pawn down for nothing, right?
Yeah, knight. Well, the king is a bit open, so it's not nothing, but definitely, I think white will be 2 pawns up here very soon. And he's definitely thinking about knight e6 now, whether to do it or whether to just take back. But I don't see anything wrong with knight e6. I think it's just very good.
F8 with check and then take back on d4.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, exactly. Now I will just take on d4, and it's up to black to start to find some IDs. One is h5, perhaps.
But I want to go rook c1 as well, though. Like, I guess h5.
Yeah, I think h5 here is a good move.
h5.
And yeah, he will basically try. This move I'm not sure about, you know. Because now rook c1, I think it's a big problem.
I don't like that. But I guess his queen h3 is coming, but but I couldn't.
Yeah, but queen h3 is not dangerous if you go rook c1.
Follow up, right? So I just thought rook c1 was super strong.
Yeah, and this is a bit strange.
Oh, rook c1 I thought was basically winning almost. That was it felt.
Yeah. Now he has to go like rook f1 probably.
But it's a typical thing. Queen h3 looked really dangerous, but there was literally no follow-ups. It's one of those positions.
Yeah, no, there is nothing.
Now rook c1 again. You've got the choice.
Yeah, rook c1.
Can he see it the second time round? I mean, queen h3, king g1. There is nothing to follow up there. I guess he has to play king g4 or something and trade off, and then it's a losing ending.
Yeah, no, this doesn't work at all. I mean, the idea here, queen h3 is not dangerous at all.
Rook c1 can't.
It's just a check. And
so c1, queen d7, but then maybe, queen d.
comes the rook. Queen f7 is probably the best way.
I wanted to play rook c. I guess you got.
Yeah, rook c2, and I think white is just winning, but I think he has to play like that. And rook c2.
Yeah. But now what? Because it's kind of a standoff right now. But at least the queen's active. Queen e5 or something comes after us, right? Well, you got queen takes b5 and queen e5 to take on, e4 or something.
Yeah. This is
right now.
Good. I don't really see the counterplay here for black.
Queen h3
See
again.
a lot of problems.
Queen h3 is nothing, so why do they go Queen e5 again? Maybe Queen e5. Oh no, Queen g4 then, I guess is.
Well, the thing is that I don't think there's anything. If you
Go like rook.
you can even leave with Queen e5 here, and and run with the king. I don't see anything there.
So Queen or King f1.
Draw? No, there is no draw. Queen g4 is on. I mean, you have to do something.
But King f1 and then King e2. Is that like just safe?
Yeah, King f1 and yeah.
Because I think Rook c7 is way more dangerous. Like that's mate. That's mate,
Yeah.
right?
No, I don't think this is working for white at all.
Right.
So I think we're gonna have another win here for Vassal because it doesn't look.
I think Rook c7 is just horrible, and I feel like he's gonna.
Yeah, no. I mean, the idea is to go something here, Rook f7 or something, and keep on playing. But
but Rook isn't Rook
what?
just mate? Oh no, because he can go.
Well, it's not mate, but
it would have been, but he can go to g5 now. That's what he's thinking.
Let's see. Check there, check. Wow, that's brave.
I mean, I wouldn't do this at all.
Queen d8, Rook f6, Rook f7.
Was Queen h8 correct or Queen g7 more accurate?
But let me see what happens. Queen.
Is this was it thinking or no?
So what about Rook d?
So Rook c5.
Yeah, I think Rook c5 is a good move here. And then on Rook f5, you probably go
Queen.
Queen d8, Queen d8. So basically Rook f5 here, and you go Queen d8, and this move you have Queen c8, Queen c8 check now.
Yeah, and then he's got to go Rook f5.
And Rook f5, you take that one. That's the idea.
And then you go Queen g8 or something.
Yeah, exactly. Queen g8 is strong, forcing. So you take here, and then Queen g8.
And now you've got the winning ending as well.
Exactly, and that's the idea.
The D pawn.
And then you just exchange, and then this is totally winning.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. That was a nice and simple way of playing. It looked complicated, but that's a very simple way of playing, right? Yeah.
And d6.
Yeah, done.
And here the problem is that the black king is not okay. Why does he continue to play?
It's on time. That's what I would do.
This is ridiculous. I mean, just resign.
And also take the pawns to not lose on time, and then continue.
Yes, resign. Yes, please go and resign.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. I mean,
21 is fair, easy.
Yeah, well, there you should resign. But okay, he was trying to flag him.
I think he's plenty of time. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was easy, but it was an interesting game as well. So let's see what else we have here.
So Vashon, this is the guy who Vicario again.
This looks very nice for black. Looks like winning.
There's a whole piece. Well, not a whole piece. This piece of pawn up,
But now I don't understand the last move here because now maybe f5 could be an idea.
But then he play bishop f5 eventually.
Play on this.
Weakness. I guess he doesn't want to let the bishop in to the back because if he loses those pawns, then he's in serious trouble, isn't he?
Yeah, this is a bit exciting. I think he's prepared to hide the king.
But
basically, I mean, black is also ahead on time, so he's waiting for white to make something stupid.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know. What would you play? Queen d7, and then okay. Oh, now he's going to c5. Oh, that is annoying, actually.
Well, I mean, you should just go usually and bishop d6 here. That's the right move. Because now f5 is quite weak and he doesn't have time as well.
Yeah,
which is a factor.
And that's just dropping now.
Well, looks a bit tricky.
It should be just dropping, shouldn't it?
This is a very interesting move. He could have taken directly as well on a3.
Can he take on a3 now? With I was thinking bishop here. That's what I would play. He can take on e3 after that, can't he?
Yeah, this is and now the idea is to come here, of course, and he's just playing with him a little bit here now. It's not gonna work
e2.
for white because this move is strong, and then bishop takes rook b1 and bishop takes a3.
It's like finish. It's like almost. Oh, it's resigned.
Yeah, he's lost. The problem is that rook goes to b1 to defend. So basically, rook comes here, and the idea is, of course, to defend this pawn. But bishop takes a3 will decide the game.
Yeah.
Because if pawn takes, you have queen a2 mate, for example. So it doesn't look.
But even after he can promote to a queen there, and you can ignore it and take on b2.
Yeah.
It's quite cute. Like, you know, you can just pull through that, and it's instead of taking the queen. So stuff like that is quite good. But okay, so this is 4 rounds to go, so just past halfway, and we've got only one. Is it only one person on 4 out of 4?
Let me see how we're doing. Yeah, it's still some ongoing games here.
4 people on 4 out of 4. Wow.
There's quite a lot of people out of that has full score. Let me see what's going on here. Well,
so
this is
the MSO organizer. So he's playing in this now.
Yeah. But whoa! What happened now?
He
blundered.
Yeah, exchange. Do we have time to win this?
He blundered a piece. Oh, bishop c2 was a really bad move.
No, he's thinking. Yeah, I guess he thought he could.
This move is the best move, of course. Bishop d7.
And then take it.
Then taking e6. Yeah, because the thing is that if you go bishop d7, rook takes f7, and then bishop takes e6, and the rook is pinned.
Yeah.
That would have been the move, but bishop c2 is a big blunder. And now I think black is very happy. I
think he thought he was winning the piece maybe with bishop.
I think he thought it was mate down here somewhere.
Yeah.
Now it's just going to be a draw. Because if the problem is that he can't go to e8 because of bishop c.
Oh, it's not good for a draw.
Yeah, he has more time. Black is losing on time.
Rook b8 now. He's going to quickly.
What? He went back. No. You could flag him.
Yeah. I thought.
God.
I was expecting rook b8.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, h5 or any move that.
Because you can always play rook b1 at the end of it and stop, like,
Yeah. I mean, this was. Yeah, that was a bit. I mean, the best move is probably rook a8 actually. That in this position.
Rook b8, I guess rook a8.
I think probably this move is probably the best move.
Because I thought rook.
Because if b5, you can actually try to go back with the bishop to the d3 and just take the pawns.
But after rook b8, you can't stop them taking on b7 though with check, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
a5.
Well, what I was a bit worried about if you do rook b8 is that a3 will come.
And then rook takes b7 check, and then
king f8 and rook b8. Okay, so you go to a8 anyway.
That's what.
Yeah, that could work definitely.
Knight a5 is annoying, is what I was thinking. But then you go.
He will go rook f3 there and take this pawn.
He's got no time for that.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Rook b8 is an interesting move. I would probably go knight a5 then if this nothing else works. And if rook a8, you can go b6 probably. So that's what I would play. And it's still a bit annoying, this a pawn. So therefore, I would prefer rook a8 actually.
Yeah.
To be sure that I get rid of those pawns. So there's nothing to lose on. But yeah, it was also an interesting game here in the end. Let's see, I think there's still some game going on. No? No, they started a new one.
Yeah.
It's high tempo, yeah.
Ah, look at this A3.
Yeah, this is this is like
The guys are ready.
yeah, they're what do they call this A3 variation? There's this
It's like a wing gambit, right?
no, not really. There's like I think it's some Russian player that wrote some book about it.
Made it, but
Uh,
E4 immediately is a wing gambit, but A3 first is I can't remember who made it popular, but it got popular for a little bit.
yeah, no, it's just something that a lot of amateurs like this, because you get something totally different than what Sicilian players are used to. And whites, of course, can play quick if they know their theory, and black probably doesn't know much. But if you make some sound moves, I don't think it can be so bad for black. It's usually when people do something at the side, at the edge, then it's very easy to basically play in the center. I mean, that's usually the general advice. But when someone plays on the flank, you usually play in the center against them.
That's generally what the theory, the protocol is, isn't it? Attack on the flank is met with attack in the center.
Yeah, and many times also controlling the center. You just make central moves. That's usually the advice I give when they play something like that. Just make central moves. Take the center, and you will usually even be better after a while.
I guess it's similar to the Dutch, but like Simon Williams has played that a lot in the Dutch when you played he plays both sides, but against D4, F5, H3 is also a move as well. So it's just the mirror image.
Yeah. See. I mean, it's just white wants to basically attack the black structure here, but I honestly don't see why you can't take the pawn. I think it was possible to just take here on b4 and take with knight and go back. I mean, what's the problem? I don't think white has enough compensation.
I think he's obviously just worried that, he's thought for ages on move 2. So I guess he's thinking, oh, I can't take that pawn. It will give him exactly what he wants.
Yeah, and this is usually also can be a problem. But I mean, I already like black's position. The pawn here was hanging. That's why I played rook b1. Because knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes b2. But still, you know what I would do? What move would I play here with black? Yeah, I don't understand why I don't take the pawn. Yes, I got extra pawn. I mean, and then it's up to white to prove that it was poisoned.
I guess what he wanted with the fear factor with the opening.
Yeah, definitely. It has to be something like that, And then comes b5 and
come eventually.
Now knight d4 is a very normal move, normal reaction. And she's threatening also bishop to g4 here with the pin.
Yeah.
Bishop e2. Yeah. I mean, white's play is a bit weird, like what is this?
I don't know what's White's long-term plan here. I mean, he's got to do something. Like
I mean, black is just better. I don't know what white is doing, honestly.
I mean, knight f4 now, and it's just
knight f4. I mean, it's just clear advantage here. Knight f4 gives a clear advantage to black. I think the opening has been total failure.
What is black thinking of though? Because he's taking his time here. He went knight h5 for a reason. He's not going f5, is he? Is that what is? I mean, the only other thing is to go knight h5 to f4. I thought it'd be instant.
I think he's looking at knight takes e2 as well, and seeing if it's stronger. But I don't think
c2, and then you can't put your knight on an e4 and f4. So I feel like
knight f4 is a must.
He went knight,
and then probably white will go bishop c4 or something.
Yeah,
but you have bishop g4 then.
Yeah,
which is very complicated.
So I'm really confused.
No, he's trying to remove that square on d5 and just play slowly, but it doesn't make sense.
But he can't after knight f4. You can't go to knight d5.
Yeah, no, he's probably
Maybe he's way back
more.
knight takes d4, then knight d5 or something.
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea. But he doesn't want any kind of exchanges. I mean, e6 is not a bad move. It's a very interesting move
No, he's
as
going to
well.
go
But I think that Black could have played more exact there. I mean, even Queen f6 here is very interesting. Like that kind of idea. Or
What's it?
knight f4, bishop f1, queen f6 could also be possible.
What's the idea with Queen f6? What's he actually putting?
It's to put more pressure on f3. So once you get in like the knight here on f4, you can sometimes threaten knight h3 or that kind of ideas. And then f3 here could be weak. So I think that, but I definitely think that the professional killer needs to step up here because
Has he?
no, it's, I mean, I don't. This is not really how a Sicario play. It's rather like the one who's getting killed.
He was hoping that they could take his gambit or something, and then he'd probably play more days.
No, I mean Black's position is great here. This move, I don't like it. I mean Black is still doing good, but why did you have to do that?
I guess he wants to just go into f5.
He wants to trade. His idea now is to take on b2. What?
F4.
I mean, this is the standard IDs. You take on b2 here. Rook takes b2, and then queen f6 IDs.
Then
knight f4, you can do that directly, and queen e3, queen f6, for example.
So you basically got two tempi there because you improved your pieces by hitting their pieces, but he wants to just put his knight f4 and not be moved.
But even this, he has IDs here now with f5 is an ID, knight f4, and the bishop can be either on b7 or in g4 sometimes if you need to put more pressure. But I don't somehow I don't like the how white is playing here. I think the pieces are really stupid. I mean, what is it?
Maybe go c3 and d4 to try and actually get some sort of.
Yeah, I mean he's going to try for the squares, but I think that Black is just great. Black is doing fine here. Very very nice position. So I would prefer to definitely sit behind the black pieces here. Now it starts.
I don't know where that queen goes as well. It's not great.
No, queen e3, bishop h6 probably. So this move, you will go bishop h6.
Yeah, I don't like that. So I don't know where this queen goes. Queen f1 or queen c3.
Queen f1 maybe.
It's just. But then bishop e6, and it's just.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense. You have both bishop g4 and bishop e6.
Yeah, I think bishop g4 as well is also good.
Yeah, bishop g4 is very annoying.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Very annoying.
Well, I thought, I don't know, the queen f1 was probably the best move. It just seems awkward anyway, just this position. So.
Yeah, no, here Black is doing fantastic. So it's not a very easy position to play. Bishop e6 is a great move.
Wow.
Yeah, he's going for blood.
Well, I guess where does that knight go? The knight is trapped.
Yeah, no, you have a very bad knight there. So you have to go like, and d3 is not what he wants to do either.
No,
bishop e6 and this kind of things, and the queen has to hide on a4. But the whole setup here is just very stupid. Yeah? The whole white setup here is just wrong.
He's gonna have to go always gonna have to go rook ed1 or something. And then bishop g4 is also annoying again.
No, this position is very very bad.
Because I'd play that bishop g4 there and queen f6. I think I'd play instead of g4.
Yeah.
And then you go knight takes g2, and it's all just falling apart.
Yeah, now it's time for the killer here.
That's also risky, I think. Queen f6.
Yeah, no, it's very risky.
Queen f6.
I mean, both queen f6, h5 is also
extremely
interesting right now. But I know, yeah, I mean, yes, a move like King H8, F5 is also. I think the position is extremely dangerous for white.
See, I would have played Queen F6, just because I think it's like when you have a
Yeah,
move so that, it's just dangerous as well. Like,
definitely Bishop E6 is a good development move. I like that. And then he can go for G5.
was it
Probably.
Queen
It
C3?
depends on where he puts Queen C3. Yeah, then you can't go for G5. You can take and go for G5. Knight takes E2, Rook takes E2, G5. Yeah, and it's gonna be. I mean, this is fantastic position because it's gonna open the H5. Because the problem is that when white takes, he's gonna take here, and then no matter where this one goes, the H file is gonna be what will give and grant black the victory.
Well, I mean, you can even do it with you can even get there with play. So you can go Bishop H6 to F4, and then to get the H file.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah.
But can you even just open the G file this way? Well, I guess you've got Queen G3 is coming, but maybe Queen H4 is also interesting after taking or something.
Well, taking, I think that they will do a standard ID and just go G3.
Okay.
Trying to but I mean, look at the white position. White is totally shattered.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no coward here.
I guess he's hoping for this cheeky cheapo on G7. Forget it. It's a mate. But
yeah, no, he tries to get some play, but
Queen H4. Just ignore it. Is that okay? I would just probably play something. I guess
I like F5. I like this move.
Wow, this is a bold. These guys not caring at all.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a very tactical game and position.
What on earth? What on earth is going on here, though?
Well, this move was what I expected because there's a pin here, so you can't take on E4.
What's going on now? That's why I wanted like Queen.
But he can take here if he wants.
But then
I don't think there's any.
H5 as well.
I don't think there's anything serious, substantial.
But I feel like it's losing grip a little bit compared to what he was.
Yeah, I mean, black has had a good trend.
So take on H5?
Yeah, well, take on G7. This has to be removed.
You know that.
But otherwise, you will have a rook there on B2 is totally misplaced.
But I don't want to allow the rook to come to H8. That's why I was thinking not playing allow them to King takes G7, because then you allow them to. We have to.
Well, I mean, Queen F6 is coming. This is actually a very nice move that probably should be played.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking of that. That's why I was thinking.
I should definitely inflict this move now.
That's why instead of Queen H5, because otherwise Bishop takes G7, King takes G7, then you've got Rook H8 or Rook G8 or something. That's why I thought it's better to allow this and then take on E6 instead.
I think Queen G6 now looks like the move.
Queen G6, Bishop G7, Queen E6, then take on F5. And it changes.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just start to play. I mean, looks okay.
Everything then, because you can, that's much better than the Knight G5, Knight G4 comes in, and I think it just that's a totally different balance of game.
Yeah. So let me see here what's going on.
He can't do anything else than not Queen G6. I don't know what he's thinking. Like, I mean, this is just got to be what his plan is. If he's not thinking about what says, I mean, like, what other there go. And then he has to play Bishop G7, I think.
Yeah, Bishop G7.
Queen E6.
Because King H8 is going to go Queen H6.
Oh. And now you don't take it with check. That's really bizarre.
Yeah, that was a very bad move.
Actually, because he loses B2 now as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, very, very bad maybe.
That's really, I don't understand that at all. He's just blundered a piece.
Yeah, definitely. And now King G8.
And now
King take E6 check. And then basically this bishop is hanging.
Yeah.
That was very badly played.
Yeah, it's very strange for 2360. That's surprising. That's very because this guy's actually 2600 at bullet. You know, he's been in other stuff. We've done a KSPTTW. He's a like 2600 at bullet. So I'm very surprised he did that.
Yeah, well now there's not much left because you're gonna. I mean, there's some ideas of getting the rooks into play.
Yeah, Rook B3 swings mating in a minute. Like you can't.
Yeah, I mean, probably he'll try F3 or something. I think F3 is a good one.
It's the only move, I guess. I presume.
Yeah.
What else can he do? Oh. It's very brave.
Well, probably this move does it.
With a knight G4?
Well, 94. Your idea is to. You can also play Queen D7. Actually.
Yeah, now F7 and Rook G4.
And Rook H7. I mean, you have totally winning attack.
This is horrible. I guess I don't understand. He's a piece down, and very strange decision that was to play King H8.
Yeah, that was a big blunder. It's a big blunder.
Very surprised he buys 2600 at bullet.
So now we'll see what happens. And I mean, you have so many moves here, like grab another pawn, and knight F3 is coming, and yeah, knight F3. Knight F3 is a good move here. Starts to get a lot of duties for black's pieces here. I mean, you can take and Rook E6. Rook F6, you go Rook H6.
I mean, yeah, this is
and now you basically take here.
It's a clear piece now, and I think it's just resignable.
Yeah, no, this is just totally lost. So let's go for another one.
Much point playing that one. So someone's just jumped to first. Bashod again looks like he's in a good position to try and win this game. Be on full mark still.
This looks interesting.
Look, it's the nice thematic tactics.
It's this Grand Prix.
Yeah, nice thematic kind of sack there. It's good. So it's weird seeing that the king's just stuck in the centre like that and not been able to capitalise on it though. I blundered there.
Well, I think it was sacrificed, but I don't know why he gave up. Didn't have any choice. He had to give up the pawns. But I think, still, you have to give up the pawns. You have to play this move. Here, I would definitely recommend Queen E2.
Yeah, Queen E2 is winning, basically, I think. And then Bishop D4 comes at some point. Yeah, this is strong now, right? What is going on here? Time.
Yeah, I mean, it's also time that is a factor. Oh, so I will need to take a very short break. Yes, a very brief break.
A brief break. Come back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Because
check out what's happening in round. Well, there's only 2 rounds left, I think. So it's round 6 and 7. So we'll be back, I guess, in 5 minutes, finding out what's going on in round 6 and 7.
Yeah, we'll be back when this is over. Yeah, so it looks like Sicario lost again. So it was on a second battle here. So yeah, I'll just take a brief break.
5 minutes.
Yeah, so it will be soon.